Hey, my name is Justin Bales, and I want to do a video series talking about how to develop a left hand. I got some questions about how to do that, and I just kind of want to talk about like the logistics of doing that and just how to set it up in general. So the first thing to understand about setting up the left hand is that there's only a certain number of ways we can manipulate our hand, and those are like finger, we can rotate our wrist, we can move our elbow, and we can move our shoulder. Okay, so there's really only like 4 things we can do to adjust the grip and set it up in the right way. Okay, so the first element is fingers. Most of us are probably pretty comfortable playing match grip at this point. And realistically, the difference between match grip and traditional grip are very slight. So in match grip, my stick goes between my thumb and pointer finger. And to transition into traditional grip, all I'm going to do is take my thumb and place it right on top of my pointer finger and kind of splay out my fingers a little bit. So again, it looks like here's match, there's traditional. You can kind of see there's a line between my pointer, ring, and pinky fingers. And there's a little gap between my middle and ring finger. And then my thumb is just connecting straight into my arm. So that's our first point of setting this thing up, okay? So I would honestly try to think of it as just taking match grip and splaying it out a little bit more, and then adding that point of contact with the thumb to the pointer finger. After we have this established, our next point of rotation is the wrist. Okay, so we want to make sure our thumb is going straight up through the wrist. Okay, it's really common for this to break like that. We don't want to do that. We want it to be nice and straight. My thumb is on top of the stick. And again, when we're looking at it from this direction, we should see a kind of cup shape in our hand. So we have this finger, and this finger, creating a line. And then we have this nice curved cup with a straight thumb that extends all the way through to the arm. Okay, our next point of rotation is the elbow. So this guy, and then also we can manipulate it side to side. So I talked about how we don't want to break the elbow, and we were doing this tray thing, and how that's really bad. The easiest way to fix this is to make sure you're about 6 inches from your drum. Keep your bead in the center of the head, and then pull back with your elbow until you get a straight line from your elbow all the way to your thumb. And then we should have about a tennis ball right here. We can also kind of hit on shoulders at this point. We want our shoulders to be nice and relaxed. So once you're feeling comfortable with these first 3 steps, I would recommend holding your stick down low, raising from the elbow, and just getting set up. Okay, because we don't want any of this stuff happening in our shoulders. Right, one last thing while we're setting this up is we want to watch out for splaying our fingers out like this. There's a big gap between my middle and my ring finger, so make sure we're keeping our hand nice and compact with that middle finger just laying over the top. Like you can see a little bit of daylight through there, but none of that. Okay, and the stick is resting on my cuticle, which is right where the fingernail meets the finger. It's not the best grip ever, but I mean, it's okay. Alright, so now that we got this thing established, I want you to totally forget about it, and we're gonna focus on how the hand rotates. So when we're playing traditional grip, it's nothing more than basically a thumb turn that extends from the elbow all the way through to the thumb. Pull my sleeve up here really quick. So it's rotating like this, kind of like a doorknob. It's not doing this. This is like, heck no. And it's not flopping around, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do to really make this thing happen is just isolate that thumb turn. And the first thing I would do is just make sure I can move my thumb up and down like this, honestly. Okay, we need to build up these thumb muscles so that we can get a good quick stroke, and that's probably like the first place you're gonna wanna start, is just moving that thumb up and down. Okay, so once you're cool with that, you're gonna kind of start moving into playing like 8 on a hand ideas, but I don't want you to do it with the grip on the stick. I want you to take it off and basically go in for like a really awkward robot handshake, okay? And from here, the thing that's gonna make our stroke happen is a nice extension, so that big rotation up, and then a fast snap, and that's where that thumb muscle is really going to come into play. Okay, so we're up here, and then quick snap. And you can see I'm not moving from the elbow too much. Obviously it moves a little bit, but that's my stroke. And so to practice that, get in that handshake position, get up, and then whip it as quick as you can. If you just kind of like drop the stick in, you're not getting anything back to get you back up to forte, so you're never going to be able to like play at a nice quick tempo like this. Okay, so number one, get back, work on that snap, work on getting back to here with that motion. That would even be a good thing to do. If the marching stick is too heavy, get like a 7A and work up, and then add the weight. Okay, so as you're kind of working on getting that velocity thing happening with that big thumb twitch and the big rotation, you're probably going to have some difficulties getting that going at first. And another one you can do is, instead of having the thumb straight on top like this, you can shift it forwards and work on just turning the thumb independent of the hand. Like my hand's moving again, I know stuff moves around, but just working on that thumb going down. And this is kind of a good motion to practice as well. So we got big quick turn, lots of velocity. I'm moving the stick as quickly as I can and getting it back up here. I'm spending lots of time like looking at my hand, flicking it, looking at it again, just making sure I'm comfortable getting up here. And then I'm also working on the fast twitch in the thumb. This is a really good thing to do, like just watching TV. Doesn't need to have any rhythm or meaning. It just is getting muscles trained. Once we got that going, start adding fingers in, so like looping your ring around, adding everything in on top, and again just going for that good quick velocity and snap. Try not to move your elbow too much. Transitioning back and forth. Make sure we're not like squeezing too hard. Okay, like my fingers are touching the stick, but they're not really affecting the stick, and I'm getting a nice resonant motion. Another good one is playing clones. So generally speaking, if we've been playing match grip for a while, our match hand probably has a better grip on getting a good velocity stroke. So if I'm playing with that right hand, I have a better grasp for like how quick that stick should be snapping up. Okay, and a lot of times you'll get something like this, where the left hand lags behind, and so keep fighting to let it bounce all the way back, and maybe get in front of a mirror, draw a line on the mirror up here, make sure they're both coming back up at the same rate to the same spot, and not doing that kind of thing. Okay, and again, that's just making sure I'm getting a good rebound off of the head. The last little tidbit I'm going to leave with you is how to start building rhythmic accuracy. Again, it'll take time, but what we want to do is basically pick like two groupings. So for this, I'm going to do eighth notes and triplet eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and triplet 1 and 2 and triplet 1 2 3 4. So that kind of idea. Again, like, push yourself. Don't always go 1 2 3 4 5 6 1. Like push yourself and find a limit. So maybe it's 1 and 2 and 1 2 3 1 and 2 bar triplet. That kind of thing, and speed it up. One thing that stinks about triplets is that the ratio from eighth note to eighth note triplet is a lot speedier. So if you're comfortable with it, check out playing like fives. So or 5 notes in the space of 4 eighth notes, essentially. 4 5 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. And down low, in a 16th note context. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. And again, just like with eighth notes, trying to push for more fives for more durations. 1 2 1 2. I do realize the 5 division is a lot harder to lock down, but maybe this is a good opportunity to start honing in that 5-lit idea while you're just kind of breaking down your just getting this rope down, right? Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll keep doing some more like explorations and just kind of getting that grip set up. Just make sure you're thinking about the different ways we can manipulate the stick. So we got our fingers, we got that wrist turn, we got the elbow, and we got the shoulder, okay? And those are the only 4 ways that we can manipulate where that stick goes. And we're making sure that we got a line here, we got a nice space here, our shoulder isn't hunched up, we got a line from our pointer to our pinky, and the stick isn't splayed out, right? So a lot of times getting this thing set up, all you got to do is keep your stick in the center of the head, make sure that elbow's back until it's a tennis ball away. That should set you up pretty solid. Thanks again for watching. I'm Justin. I hope I didn't bore you to death.